Hi you guys, this is Haley, and today I am going to be talking about typhoid fever. Typhoid fever's causative agent is Salmonella typhi. Its family is Enterobacteriaceae, and its class is Gamma proteobacteria. There are two different types of typhoid fever. The first that we're discussing today, obviously caused by Salmonella typhi, and is mainly accompanied with abdominal symptoms. And then there's also something called paratyphoid fever caused by a different bacteria, which is Salmonella paratyphi. Has similar symptoms, but is often considered a more mild condition. The causative agent S. typhi is a gram-negative bacteria. It's rod-shaped, it's a facultative anaerobe, and it has a peritrichous arrangement of its flagella. As you can see in the photo on this right-hand side, it has a very long flagella attached to it. And then the incubation period for this bacteria is 6 to 30 days. Sorry, I skipped over the virulence factor, which is typhoid toxin, and it is produced by the bacteria once it is within the host. The signs and symptoms of typhoid fever is often a fever of 101 to 103 degrees Fahrenheit lasting 3 or more days, stomach pain, headaches, constipation, diarrhea, loss of appetite, rash with raised rose-colored spots, and nausea and or vomiting. The mode of transmission, this bacteria is passed from person to person through human waste. The waste has to be contaminated with the S. typhi bacteria, and that can be transmitted through consuming unsafe food or water, poor sanitation, things like changing a diaper or using the bathroom, and then not washing hands properly after. There are 4 distinct stages of typhoid fever. Stage 1, symptoms begin to show up within the first 5 to 14 days after contact, and it begins with a stepwise fever. This is where the temperature increases incrementally over a few days, and the bacteria is moving from the small intestine where it was ingested and then into the bloodstream. Stage 2 is a continued fever. The bacteria are multiplying in the Peyer's patches. Abdominal symptoms begin, and you might experience a rose-colored rash. Stage 3, this is where severe damage will begin without treatment. That can be things like internal bleeding, encephalitis, which is swelling of the brain, and other complications. And then stage 4 is the beginning of recovery. The fever is reduced, other symptoms subside, but the bacteria is still living within the gallbladder. The bacteria can actually end up surviving within the host for up to a year after they've stopped experiencing symptoms. Parts affected, as we discussed already, the small intestine. This is where the S. typhi enters the body and gets into the bloodstream. It can cause an array of abdominal issues. And then also the brain, when left untreated, the S. typhi toxin can travel through the bloodstream to the blood-brain barrier and result in swelling and inflammation that can cause neurological issues. Treatment for typhoid fever is going to be antibiotics. For example, ciprofloxacin acts on bacterial topoisomerase to prevent DNA replication in bacteria and therefore the division of bacteria. And then azithromycin binds to the ribosomal subunits to inhibit protein synthesis and prevent division of bacteria as well. The complications and lasting effects, if untreated, typhoid fever again can cause internal bleeding, intestinal perforation, so a hole in the intestine, a swollen or burst gallbladder, which is where the bacteria like to hang out, and then neurological brain symptoms. And that is it. Thank you guys for listening. And then these are my sources. I was actually able to find all of the information on the CDC website.